Welcome to a video about Management Page Basics in SnapPlus version 3. The purpose of this video is to give you a quick tour of the different tabs and features available on the management page. We have detailed videos going into more information about using the field view, the annual view, the template builder, and nutrient applications. Check out our later videos for more information about how to use these features. To start our tour, let's begin at the top of the page. We are here on the management page in SnapPlus version 3. We can see that we have 3 tabs available to us: the field view, the annual view, and the template builder. We'll go through the type of information you can find on each of these tabs in a few moments. Other important buttons to note here at the top of the page are the field details sidebar and the nutrient application sidebar, also available at the top. We start out in the field view tab. Just below the tabs, we can see that we have a label indicating which field we're currently looking at. In the field view, we see one field and all of the crops currently planned on that field. You can change which field is currently selected in 2 different ways. You could use the drop-down menu to select the field by name from your list. You can also use the arrows to navigate one by one or to the beginning or end of your field list. To the right of the field, we can see we have drop-down menus for group and subfarm. Using these menus is a way to filter the list of fields that appears here on the left. If your plan has many different fields in it, using groups and subfarms can be one easy way to make your list of fields more manageable if you focus on updating some small set of fields at a time. Just below these controls, we have the rotation settings. Rotation settings is where you indicate the start year and length of the current rotation. In my example field, you can tell the current rotation is set by looking at which crops are outlined with the black box. For example, if I change my rotation length to 6, you'll see that my rotation updates and the outline now goes around the selected crops in my rotation. Other options available in rotation settings include whether this field is farmed on the contour or with strip cropping. In addition, you have this option to select if this field has designed in-field or edge-of-field filter areas. Please consult SnapPlus guidance for definitions to understand what these different options mean for contouring and filter areas. Finally, we have a table where we will see the results of soil loss and phosphorus index, or PI, calculations, the tolerable soil loss, or T level, and the soil conditioning index and soil tillage intensity rating for our selected rotation. Values will appear in this box when we click the Calculate Erosion button and we have a rotation set. In our example, after clicking the Calculate button, we see results for the soil loss and phosphorus index calculation here. The small button to the right side of the Calculate button is a way for us to calculate soil loss and erosion on all the fields in this plan. Keep in mind that if you have many fields in your plan, this can sometimes take a few moments. Below our rotation settings area, we have some controls for different ways that you can add crops in the field view. The crops table shows us the crops that are already planned on this field. One important difference between SnapPlus version 3 and SnapPlus version 2 is that in the field view here, we're looking at calendar years, and we have an additional plant season column that indicates the season our crop in this row was planted. Other choices that we make when adding crops to this field include the yield value in a range, the tillage system, and we have a drop-down menu indicating more options that can be expanded by clicking on the small arrow. In the example of corn silage, we have opportunities to set the MRTN price ratio and to indicate if this crop is irrigated or drained, and if there are any crop notes that you'd like to take and save for this year. Additional information that's available from the field view page can be found in field details. When we click this button, it opens a sidebar with 4 different sections. In the soil fertility section, we see information about the predominant soil that SnapPlus uses when determining nutrient recommendations for this field, the soil group, and the corn yield potential assigned by the UW A2809 nutrient recommendation guidelines. The second section in the field view is soil conservation. If we expand this section, we can see the critical soil that SnapPlus uses when running soil loss calculations using Russell II. In addition, we see the critical slope and the critical slope length also used in Russell II for soil loss calculations. In the P management section, we have information selected about the current phosphorus risk assessment strategy selected for this farm, how much phosphorus has been added in the current rotation, and how much has been removed by crops in the current rotation, and the balance here at the bottom, which is the amount of phosphorus added minus crop removal. Finally, the potassium management section contains information about the amount of potassium applied, how much is removed by crops, and the balance, which is added minus crop removal. The Nutrient Applications button is on the upper right-hand corner of your screen. When you click this button, it opens up a side panel that is showing us the planned nutrient applications for the crop that's currently selected in your crop table. In my example, the 2025 alfalfa is selected. I don't currently have any manure or fertilizer applications planned for this crop. Other important information that's here in the Nutrient Application Planner is a reminder of the selected crop and cropping acres at the top, a reminder of the application seasons that are available for this specific crop, and an indication of what the annual P-index value is if you have already calculated soil loss and P-index for this rotation. Below this information is a table that is our nutrient accounting table. This contains information about the UW nutrient recommendations for the selected crop, the total applied nutrients planned for this crop, and whether the nutrients are over or under based on the recommendations and how much has been applied. Below the nutrient accounting table, we have a reminder of which soil test is currently being used for this field. The mini map to the right gives us a reminder of what this field looks like on the map, and will also show any restriction layers that are currently turned on in maps. Below this, we have the area where we would add nutrient applications. You can see our detailed video about how to use a nutrient application planner later in this playlist. The buttons on the top are what we would use to add nutrient applications, and we have an available manure table here, which allows us to see how much manure we have spread in different seasons and how much is remaining from that total annual volume that we enter back on the nutrients page. Other important things to know about navigating the field view are that you have some options for customizing your crop table that you can access by clicking on the gear button. These two options are whether or not you would like to wrap text in the crop table and whether or not you'd like to reverse the order of the crop years. In this example, reversing the order of the crop years, when I uncheck this box, it shows me the oldest date at the top. So I'm looking at 2020 and my most recent or furthest future date at the bottom, which is 2026. If I'd prefer to see it with the most recent date at the top, I can click reverse order, which is the default position. The next tab on the management page is the Annual View tab. On this tab, you can select a specific crop year and see a table with one row for every field that currently has crops planned in your nutrient management plan. This is similar to the cropping grid in SnapPlus version 2. You'll see that this table in the Annual View has many different columns. If you'd like to customize which columns are visible, you can do that by clicking on the Gear button and selecting Show or Hide Columns. This gives you a list of columns, and you can click on them to remove them or add them back to your table. In this case, I'll remove several columns to free up some space on my screen. In the Annual View, you can sort by any of the columns in this table by clicking on the column header. This will sort them alphabetically or numerically, depending on the column type that you've selected. Nutrient application information is also available from the Annual View. To see this, select the row of the field that you'd like to review nutrient applications, and then click Nutrient Applications in the upper right-hand corner. This will open up the same nutrient application panel that we saw on the field view and give you information about any nutrient applications planned, your crop recommendations, and other information like this mini map and available manure. The final tab available on the management page is the Template Builder. The Template Builder is a tool that replaces the version 2 rotation wizard. This is a way for you to set up sequences of crops and nutrient applications that are easy to use across multiple fields in your plan. In my example, I have several existing templates or rotations that have been saved, and some of these also have nutrient applications associated with them. We have a detailed video about how to use the template builder later in this series. Notice that the template builder looks very similar to the field view. Many of the same buttons and controls are available for adding crops and adding nutrient applications.